He never ruled a kingdom. He never led an army. But his name became a weapon. Niccolò Machiavelli didn't just write about power. He defined it. And 500 years later, his words still echo in the halls of politics, business, even war. This is the story of the man who taught the world that it's better to be feared than loved, and the real tactics behind his legendary guide to power. The Prince, born in 1469 in Florence, a city of bankers, artists, and political backstabbing, young Niccolò Machiavelli grew up watching power shift like a chessboard. But he wasn't noble, he wasn't rich. So how did he rise? By becoming the sharpest observer of human behavior the Renaissance ever produced. When the ruling Medici were overthrown, Machiavelli was promoted to a powerful role in the Florentine Republic, a sort of diplomatic spy master. One of Machiavelli's greatest obsessions was Cesare Borgia, the ruthless son of Pope Alexander VI. He watched Borgia crush rival families, manipulate alliances, and leave betrayal in his wake. Machiavelli's verdict: this is how power really works. In his book, The Prince, he wrote, "A wise ruler cannot and should not keep his word when doing so is to his disadvantage." He called it virtu, not virtue in the moral sense, but calculated strength, cunning, and control. He wasn't teaching morality, he was documenting reality. One of Machiavelli's most famous metaphors is simple and deadly. A prince must be a lion to frighten wolves and a fox to recognize traps. To survive, he believed rulers needed to lie, cheat, flatter, and threaten, depending on the moment. Not because they were evil, but because everyone else was doing it too. In Machiavelli's world, morality was a luxury, but power was survival. But then, the Medici returned to power, and Machiavelli, arrested, tortured, accused of conspiracy. He was broken, physically, but not mentally. While in exile on his small farm, he began writing the book that would make him immortal, The Prince, and he dedicated it to the Medici. Yes, the very family that destroyed him. The Prince wasn't just a guide for rulers, it was a mirror held up to humanity. He wrote that, "People are fickle, promises are tools, fear lasts longer than love, power obeys no moral code, and most of all, the ends justify the means." Did he believe all of it, or was he warning us? To this day, scholars debate, was he sincere or satirical? Here are 3 Machiavellian tactics still used today. 1. Appear virtuous, act when needed. Always look honest, act with ruthlessness only when it matters. 2. Divide and conquer, never let enemies unite. Keep them off balance, even if you must manufacture the tension. 3. Control the narrative. Win the battle of perception. Appear strong even when you're weak. Be feared without being hated. Sound familiar? Politicians, CEOs, generals. They still follow Machiavelli's script, whether they've read The Prince or not. Machiavelli died in 1527, disgraced, unpublished, nearly forgotten. But centuries later, The Prince was rediscovered and turned into the ultimate manual for power. His name became a word, Machiavellian, synonymous with manipulation, strategy, dark brilliance. But here's the twist. He loved the Republic. He dreamed of a free, united Italy. The Prince might not have been a guide for tyrants, but a warning to stop them. Niccolò Machiavelli didn't invent corruption. He just wrote it down. He didn't teach evil. He exposed how power survives in a world that prefers illusions over truth. And maybe that's why we still whisper his name.